I would gladly give my last breath just to hug her and tell her I loved her one more time, just one more time.
March 10, 2010 was Brooke Melton's 29th birthday.
I kept thinking that this is not possible. It's her birthday. This can't have happened that she died.
When I touched her hand, it was cold. I knew in my heart, in my gut, there was something wrong with the car, that it wasn't her fault.
It was here that Georgia State Patrol says Brooke Melton's 2005 Chevrolet Cobalt hydroplaned on a rainy evening 4 years ago. The car spun out and was struck by another vehicle, then dropped 15 feet into this creek. The accident report says Melton was driving too fast for roadway conditions, causing her to lose control of the vehicle.
She was driving 58 and the speed limit was 55.
Do you believe that that could have caused the accident?
No, I believe that she lost power.
Brooke Melton's parents blame General Motors. It's now known the ignition switch on her Cobalt was defective. This analysis of the car's data recorder provided by the Meltons' attorney shows the switch was in the accessory position at the time of the crash, shutting the engine off and disabling the airbags, power steering, and anti-lock brakes.
We believe the evidence is overwhelming that the defects in this key system resulted in Brooke's loss of control and her death.
GM would not comment on the data recorder information. The defect led GM to recall 2.6 million cars, but before the recall, the Meltons settled their case with GM for an undisclosed amount. Now they're fighting an uphill legal battle to reopen it.
They thought they had the truth when they settled their case. We now know they had some of the truth, but not all of the truth.
In a new lawsuit, the Meltons allege that GM hid key documents from them and say a GM engineer lied in a sworn deposition.
Were you the design and release engineer for the ignition switch in the 05 Cobalt?
Yes, I was.
The Meltons' attorney gave CNN part of his deposition of Ray DiGiorgio, who denied approving any changes to the ignition switch.
There was never a work order that I saw outlining this spring.
So if any such change was made, it was made without your knowledge and authorization.
That is correct.
But in 2006, DiGiorgio signed this form authorizing a fix to the ignition switch, making it harder to turn inadvertently.
You know that he lied under oath.
The data that's been put in front of me indicates that, but I'm waiting for the full investigation.
Okay, well, let me help you here. He said several times he had no idea these changes had been made.
DiGiorgio did not return CNN's calls. He's been put on paid leave.
Good evening, everyone.
GM declined an interview with CNN, but denies the assertion that it fraudulently concealed relevant and critical facts in connection with the Melton matter, and GM denies it engaged in any improper behavior in that action. The automaker admits 13 people died as a result of the defect, but won't release those names. GM's list only includes frontal crashes where airbags didn't inflate.
General Motors says 13 deaths, 47 crashes.
And they're playing with numbers, that they don't count Brooke's death, and she's dead because of that ignition switch.
Ms. Barra, is Brooke Melton included in General Motors' death count, yes or no?
To my knowledge, no.
No.
Because it was a side impact.
Her death is not being counted. It means like it doesn't matter.
Ken Melton still keeps his daughter's number in his cell phone, something for him to hold on to.
Are you willing to settle this time?
No. Settlement is off the table.
Any amount of money?
Right.
It's not about the money.
General Motors hired former U.S. Attorney Anton Valukas to do an internal investigation. The Justice Department is also investigating, and Ken and Beth Melton will keep fighting.
Brooke's worth it, whatever it takes. If it took the next 20 years, knowing the truth for her, it's certainly worth it.
Poppy Harlow, CNN, Marietta, Georgia.